Hi there. Wanted to record another replay review for Fortnite. I played this game the other day and I feel like I did a really good job of utilizing all my resources that I was given to win the game. And I wanted to go over it and explain some of my decision making and hopefully learn a little bit with you guys about how to improve at this game, which is a really hard one. Okay. I believe I have a tiny bit of a slow start, um, but I also wanted to posit the idea of going into each game. If you are looking to improve at Fortnite, going into each game with a tangible goal. Um, and this is really how to improve at any activity in life is setting real, non-vague goals and focusing on those game after game or you know workout after workout, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And for Fortnite, as I'm sure most of you have heard streamers say, too many people set the goal of just winning the game, and that would not classify as a non-vague specific goal. Um, so this game, I actually was not trying to win the game. This game, I specifically wanted to um, do some challenges. So that kind of comes into play with some of my decision making as the game goes on. Uh, so I landed. I rarely ever land in this spot. I landed here because it was close to a challenge spot, but I also wanted to make sure I had some guns and actually play the game. So we'll speed it up here a little bit, bring the HUD back. Let's see, is this my favorite camera angle too? This one's not bad. Yeah, so here's our first player that I'm zooming by. So, and he's dead. Let's go back a little bit. I'll switch to gameplay too. I feel like that's helpful. Slow it down. So I'm getting up to full shields, and I happen to see just the tiniest bit of building here, um, which alerts me to this player coming up on me. It's an easy thing to miss, but you'll see here in a second, up in this corner. Oh god. My opponent is approaching from here, and I saw bricks come down here. So I actually know he's there already. So I'm ready to build and get into this fight. But we'll go back. Yep, I see the bricks right there. Get behind the tree. Build up. Get in a good spot. And it's just a quick 1-2 pump. Not much to learn from there. Opponent didn't have shields and didn't hit any shots. Here I pick up a suppressed pistol because that's, like I said, part of my goals this game were to complete some challenges, and getting kills with a suppressed weapon was one of them. So we'll speed it up again. Looking around, looting. Not much to see. And I believe this next person I also see due to their building. Let's see if we can see it on my gameplay. you see that tiny bit of building right over here. Lets me know that someone ran into the bottom here. Here's what I'm talking about using your resources. C4 got really good. And if you haven't tried it out, I definitely suggest it. The damage, I don't believe is buffed, but the radius is outrageous now. So I don't have a line of sight on my opponent, but I am able to open one up by dropping some C4 down. He had all the gear you could ever want, and so thanks to that kill, I'm now pretty stacked. I am in my goal setting, still trying to complete the challenge where you look for a hidden object. So that's what I do for the next minute or so. So I'll go ahead and pass through that. Do end up finding it right here. And we'll move back to gameplay. So now I've actually completed everything that I wanted to do, and now I'm like, well, we get to play the game. Just see what happens. But again, one of the main reasons I am doing this replay is because I feel like I did a good job of using all resources I have. This guy, I don't know if he's practicing or if he's trying to put a jump pad down. Either way, I scare him off and end up getting credit for the kill. I guess we'll see in a second. I do end up looting him, and let's see if he had a jump pad on him. I give him, he was spectating at that point, so I give him a little excitement, jubilation. I have an auto sniper, and I missed the headshot. I still need a lot of practice with drop, bullet drop. He did not. Oh, he had a bounce pad. So I don't know what his plan was. He might have just been fooling around. Someone gets the drop on me, and been practicing editing, building, obviously. I know I'm kind of in a pinch right here, so I don't want to expose myself too much, and I get a super lucky. That happens. It's not the only time that happens this game. Heavy pump I've really been liking, and he just happens to jump right into my reticle, and there's another one in the books. Okay, so again, I'm really kitted right now. I have a sniper. I don't remember if I picked up that hunting rifle. That was probably a mistake if I didn't. And now I'm moving into retail, which I know there's people there. That guy who I hit with the one auto shot is in here somewhere. I think he's hiding, and just because of some of his movement, I'm not too worried about him. I see a build battle going on straight ahead, and so I decide to head that way, see if I can clean up. This is where the rocket nerfs come in. I'm not able to just spam as much as I want, so I feel like I need to save them a tiny bit, use them a bit more tactically. Get distracted by a chest, why not? And then back to hunting. So at this point, I think the fight is over, and one person has won. Here's a trick that we learned from streamers. Bounce it off the roof into where my opponent is, and I happen to get the perfect explodes right above him and finish this guy off. The one player who is hiding is still behind me, but I feel pretty safe to just box in, get my shields full. I do hear the other player, the audio cue, but he's not pressuring me, so I just want to dick around and sloppily edit so I can get these shields back up. I hear him right outside, and I think I get a visual right now. And tried to edit a window, didn't work out. Missed some shots, take some shield, really unnecessary shield damage. So that's where my mechanics can improve. It's not just about finishing fights once you get comfortable with this game. It's about killing your opponent fast enough that they can't deal you shield damage, so that the next fight you get in, you're even more advantageous. So we ran into a lot of people this game, but so far it's going well. Still have a good amount of stuff. I think I kept either picked up a bolt or still my auto, which would be a mistake if I still had it. And yeah, let's speed it up a little bit. This part of the map is pretty cleared out. Looks like I'm doing really well. I have 6 kills, the most in the game right now. 10 players left. Circle's pretty close to me, so I start to farm, and I'm a big fan of moving to the highest piece of ground in the circle. Here's a little part that ties in with using our resources. Traps. I noticed that the circle is going to be, or I'm in the circle, the next circle, and players moving to the next circle will often run in there and find any kind of cover they can. If they don't build it, they'll find buildings. So a really effective use of traps in the late game is to drop them in a building in the last circle. And we'll see if that pays off for me later. So I'm feeling pretty comfy. I have decent high ground. I'm just spotting out players now, seeing where they come. I do get a little lucky here. I'm peeking these guys to my west. See that he finishes someone. I do have the auto still, which is not good. Tag his feet, but I'm standing still for quite a long time now. And you'll hear here in a second, someone spots me and thankfully misses the headshot, or else that would have been GG for me. Don't stand still. One-shot headshots in this game are brutal, and it'll make you feel real bad. So I spot him. He's south in the tower. He's doing the little peek trick, which I've not mastered. So I feel pretty comfy just waiting this next circle out. I get really lucky again. Next circle is right on me. And so I think I wait here for a hot minute. And what prompts me to move, let's see what it is that prompts me to move. 7 people left. I think people start paying attention to me pretty soon, yeah. So I have potentially 2 players who start focusing me here. This guy, I don't know what gun he was using, or if they maybe nerfed wood health, but he is knocking my walls down so fast. I'm trying to get a peek on him when he's ARing, but he keeps me under really good pressure. And I was exposed there for a sec. So he's still pressuring me, and then I hear from behind someone with a minigun trying to knock my fort down. Take a little bit of fall damage, I think. Thankfully, this guy was focusing more on my fort than he was on me. And right here, I think people are going to start pushing my location since they saw that I got pinched. So I back up and want to regroup here, still inside the circle. Reloading. regrouping, and then you'll hear the sound cue in a second here. Someone gets sniped right underneath me. Oh, and you know what? They didn't step on my trap. I kind of thought that they did, but it was the sound of the snipe. Here, I switch really quick to AR, which I've been practicing. After you pump shotgun, and this guy has a case of the buildies. He just overbuilds a tiny bit too much, which I've definitely done. And now I have a jump pad at my disposal. I see two players fighting over here. I do body shot one, and then the last player finishes them off. I check over here. You always want to double check how much time you have left before the circle and how many opponents are left. See that he's the last person and feel confident enough to push him. So use my jump pad that I just picked up. Remember, we're practicing using all our resources. I do get outbuilt, a little bit sloppy there. Have a decent amount of mats, so I feel comfortable continuing. My opponent jumps, loses the high ground, so I start to take a few shots. And here's where we take it nice and slow. In between each fight, we're mining up. I hear shots, but not at me. This is a really good indication that your opponent is trying to knock down the tower. So I drop down a little lower. Now I'm just trying to keep an eye on him, which is another thing I've been attempting to practice. Here's another effective use of resources. I drop the fire to top myself back off. I don't have a jump pad, but I do have a bounce pad, which negates fall damage. And I know the storm is going to be closing in soon, so I need some way to get off of this thing. So I'm just trying to peek. I land a body shot. If that was a headshot, would have been a good game. Something I need to practice my aim a tiny bit more. But I'm pretty confident that I have more life than my opponent after that body shot. Get the high ground, have a really good angle, and just AR down. So that was a 9-kill game. We used C4, we used traps, we used jump pads to close the distance, we used bounce pads to negate fall damage, we used campfire to get health back. So I used one of each of our possible resources. Yeah, and hope you enjoy. Later.